Hey guys, AYT here and welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are doing well. I definitely am right now. And today we are continuing the what if Deku was a weapon. So the reason I didn't upload on Monday or Tuesday or yesterday was because, well, I wanted to do an extra long video and for some reason this script took me way too long to write. And I was also I originally wanted to do what if Deku swallowed Suzuna's fingers, but then I just got writer's block on that, and I don't know how to continue it. I'm just gonna let it out. I don't know how to continue that series. I thought it would be a really cool idea if I did it, but now I don't know how to continue it. So if you did like that series, then sorry. If you did like that series, then I would appreciate it if you could if you could email me or send or YouTube me like a plot that you would like or something like that. And I would it depends. If there's like one person, then I'll use that and I'll see how it's meant to see how it plan out. If there's more than one, then I'll probably go with the one I like more. So yeah, if you guys are interested in doing that, then please send me the information and I'll put my email in the description. So yeah. So if I recall, last time we left off with Izuku being portaled to Victor Orphanage. So I'm gonna go back a little bit just to the point where he enters. Yeah, to the point where he enters it. So Izuku walked into well, sorry. Izuku was already greeted by the staff and he was taken into a room for questioning because, they need to make sure he ain't a runaway. So yeah, he went in the question for he went in the room for questioning. The room was a bedroom, normal room, and at first Deku thought this was weird, but after some explanations he was alright. I forgot to mention this, but this will be in kind of like a story format. So I will say he said and she said and this person said. So if you don't like that kind of thing, you probably shouldn't be listening to this because basically it'll feel like I'm reading a book. Yeah. I realized that after the end of writing this 7 and 1/3 of the page, so 7 1/3 pages right of script. I noticed that I read this like a book, so sorry about that. Anyway, let me continue. So yeah, he was given explanations as to why they question people in the bedroom, and after about well 60, after about 1 minute, he was alright. So the lady picked up a pen and paper and she looked at Izuku. Okay, what's your name? Hold on. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. So, yeah. Uh, okay, what's your name? Izuku Midoriya. Okay, Izuku, how old are you? Uh, I'm pretty sure Izuku's 4, yeah. So, 4. Where are your parents? Well, Izuku didn't immediately answer this question, as he was a bit troubled by the answer. And, well, at this point, he didn't fully accept it. So Deku, at this question, he got a bit angry. And if you remember in the last video, Izuku's hair is half black and half white. So his hair started to shift. The black half was slowly creeping over the white half, and his mouth twitched. The woman noticed this and started to become a little uncomfortable. But she stayed there until Izuku answered. But when Izuku answered, it was like a mix between an overlay between his voice and some other one. They're dead. I'll probably put an overlay on that with a deeper voice just to make it sound a little better. The woman felt a chill go up her spine when before she asked the next question. How did they die? Zuko smiled and his hair now was rapidly becoming black. It stopped at around 3/4. Now Izuku's normal voice was barely noticeable. No, noticeable, barely audible. Barely audible. It was overtaken by the deepness of something else. A fuckwit by the name of Katsuki Bakugo killed them. The woman was taken aback by this as she didn't expect, well, the language and the way that he said it was a little more unnatural. At this point, the woman didn't want to ask any more questions. However, she soon, after about 5 minutes of staring at Izuku, found out that Izuku had spaced out, and it looked like he wasn't. It looked like he was daydreaming. So we're gonna go to Izuku's head right now. He killed our parents. A black head version well, a black younger head version of Izuku said. Wait, oh my goodness. A younger black-haired version of Izuku said as he punched Deku. So, in this one, I'm going to call... Oh my goodness, so many interruptions. Sorry. So, I'm going to explain this. So, Deku is going to be normal Izuku, and Izuku is going to be the black-haired version. You know what? No, screw that, screw that. Okay, so I'm gonna call the blackhead, well, the evil kind of version of Izuku. I'm just gonna call him Zuku. So you're gonna have Zuku and then you're gonna have Deku. So Zuku's the evil kind of version of him, and then Deku is going to be the normal Izuku. I I where did I leave off? I'm sorry for the interruptions. I'm looking after my sister again. So sometimes the most annoying thing sometimes, but what can you do? Anyway, so yeah, so Deku shouted back at Zuku, killing him isn't going to change anything. Deku kicked Zuku in the stomach, and Zuku went flying back. But he immediately charged back. He immediately charged. Yeah, is that grammatically correct? So what do you want to do? Let him roam free? That dipshit deserves death. Deku, well, he understood where Zuko was coming from. He felt pissed too. He knew that, well, Bakugo did deserve the punishment that he gave his parents. But there was that 1% of his heart that knew that it wouldn't change anything. I know he deserves to die. I know that what he did to our parents was unjustifiable, and he does deserve death. But what good will that do? Deku grabbed Izuku's shoulders. What good will killing him do? Zuko then pushed Deku away and kicked him in the face. Just let me kill him! Deku ran back to Zuko held him by the throat and slammed him into the ground. I did say this is gonna sound a lot like a book. Jeez. Zuko rolled on top of um Deku, and they carried on rolling on top of each other. That sounds so gay. They carried on rolling on top of each other for about 5 minutes until Deku finally claimed dominance. Because he may be a murderer, a good for nothing shit stain, but he's a human, and no matter what someone's done, everyone deserves a second chance. You out of all people should know that. Zuko stopped. He had he was having a flashback of all the times he used to get bullied because of because he barely had any power. The times that he would go home and his mom would be worried sick about him, but she couldn't do anything. And then there was a fateful day where the man who came to their house, he never really saw the rest of what happened, but he never saw his mother again. She told him to run. She told him that. Oh my goodness, hold on. Alright, that should be the last interruption. Alright, yeah, so her last words were, even if you ever come across this man again, don't harm him. Treat him like you would treat someone that you just met. Because everyone, no matter how bad they are, deserves a second chance. Even me, your father, I killed his best friend, but he still gave me a second chance. Without that, you wouldn't be here. Now, mommy has to take care of something. You need to go. Nyogi didn't. Nyogi, who was his real name, the Zuko's real name is Nyogi, Nyogi. I think that's saying no Nyogi, Nyogi. Such a hard name, Nyogi. Yeah, Nyogi. So I don't know why I called him Zuko. I should have just called him Nyogi, but well. Yeah, so Nyogi, he didn't second guess before he ran. Because even though he didn't see the rest of what happened, he knew what was going to happen. He knew why his mom told him to run. And when he came back to where he saw Izuku watching him, he didn't notice it, but he was crying. There were tears slowly traveling down the side of his cheeks, dripping onto the floor. Izuku didn't say anything, and it was about after a good 10 minutes that eventually Nogi stood up and wiped away his tears. He knew that as much as he hated it, Izuku was right. Izuku stood up and went to Nyogi. You have gone through pain. I know that feeling. Trust me. I want to hurt Bakugo too. But for now, the most we can do is get stronger together. After all, we are basically the same person. And then, when the time comes, Bakugo will receive the karma and the pain that's been awaiting him. Oh, jeez. Nyogi then he nodded and he hugged Izuku. And it was at that moment that the darkness that surrounded them was outcast by a swirling light that surrounded them like a tornado, basically. Now we're snapping back to reality. The woman had been staring at Izuku. Um, Midoriya? Izuku looked at her, and his hair was now back to green. You'll find out more in the future about that little interaction, but I'm pretty sure most of you might know what it is. Any more questions? Izuku asked before he got up. The lady shook her head. No, that's all. She got up and walked out the room, and she waited for Izuku outside. When Izuku opened the door, no, when Izuku walked out, she gave him a tour of the orphanage. And then they arrived at a room. You could hear noises from inside. From what you heard was video games. That's pretty much it. This will be your room. You'll have 3 roommates, 2 of which are girls, and 1 of which is a boy. There are there are two there are there's 2 meisters, which are the girls, and 1 weapon, which is a boy. Please try and keep the bullying to a minimal. We already have enough cases as it is. Izuku opened the door and he saw 2 girls playing video games and a boy who was on what looked like a drenched in water bed. One of the girls, who was blonde haired and purple eyed, she paused her game, and just by the look on her face when she saw Izuku, he already knew she was going to be trouble. Also, Izuku knows that he's a weapon, okay? He knows that he's a weapon, but he's never transformed into one. He knows that he's a weapon, so yeah. Wait, they won't know that he's a weapon. Oh, look, another boy, which means a potential another plaything. No, not like that. They're 4 years old. Come on, man. 4 you'll get some of that later. Alright, you'll get some of that later. Like maybe 2 parts from now. Who knows? Just know you'll get some of that, okay? You need, yeah. So then the other girl, she just kept quiet, and the boy also looked at Izuku. He climbed down from his drenched top bunk and held out his arm. Hi, I'm Jisho. Nice to meet you. Izuku took Jisho's hand. Izuku. The lady, she saw that Izuku had already made acquaintance, and she decided to leave. When she left, Jisoo closed the door and, he got on with Izuku, I guess. He introduced himself and everything. About 2 hours later, they were playing. You know what? Yeah, let's do this. They were playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I have like a whole 5 decks of Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards and I don't use them. And they just gave me an idea. So, yeah, so they were playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And unfortunately, the game was interrupted by the sheets flying. Yeah, by the sheets flying everywhere. By the sheets. Okay, you know what? Screw that. By air picking up the clouds and throwing them everywhere. Because quirks do exist in this world. I'm pretty sure I said that in the last video. Yeah, the did I say blonde? Pretty sure I said blonde haired girl with purple eyes. If I didn't, just change it to blonde. Blonde haired girl with purple eyes. Yeah, she had an air quirk. Jisho, get down here. I need a drink. Izuku looked at Jisho and then looked at the girl. He was confused why one was giving the other orders. Jisho was about to climb down, but Izuku held out his arm. I know I'm not in position to ask, but why is Jisho carrying out orders for you? The blonde-haired girl, she laughed, and the other one still stayed silent. Because he's a weapon, doofus. Izuku didn't like this. Not one bit. But he couldn't really do anything about it. Jisoo slowly pushed Izuku's arm away and went to go get the drink. Alright, time skip. I'm gonna time skip 11 years later. So Izuku is now 15 years of. No, sorry, no. 12 years later. Izuku is now 16 years of age. So, yeah. So, even after all these years, Izuku's still an orphan. Over the time, he managed to just grasp on how to use his portal quirk and how it works. He also made more friends and more enemies. He knew that he can portal anywhere he's been before, or if it's in a life or death situation, somewhere safe but random. And at the moment, he could only keep it open for 5 seconds. It's not a lot, but it's quick enough for 2 people to get inside. Well, more, but at this point, we're only allowing 2 because it's a week. It's at a weak state right now. So, one day Izuku was downstairs and he was called to the adoption room. The adoption room in this what if is where, well, if you've been chosen to have a look at, or a family wants to adopt you, then they'll come in and they'll get to see you in the adoption room. So Izuku walked in. He had a he looked pretty casual. He had casual clothes. Yeah, I think I'll put a picture up. I'll put a picture up. Yeah, I'll put this picture up. Okay. So, yeah, Izuku, he he walked in and he smiled. His golden eyes, they gleamed. And, well, just like probably any family would, the first thing they noticed was, wow, Izuku has gold eyes. Yeah, so he sat down quietly. So, this is the weapon. Izuku's eyes changed from gold to gray. Did I say that the eye color? He can change his eye color depending on his emotion. Right, okay, there. So they're here because they want to win. Just like the rest of them, huh? Izuku thought. Yes, this is him. The family opposite Izuku started to question him. And yeah. I'm gonna time skip another 2 hours, and the family had finally decided to take Izuku. Deku at this point, he already didn't like them, but he didn't say anything because, you know, don't judge people by their cover. So, yeah, I'm gonna say like a week later, they came to collect Izuku. And when they arrived at the house, the first thing that they did was introductions. So, the elder man, he introduced himself first. Okay, my name is Tenki Hagakure. I'm pretty sure that's how you say the second name, Hagakure. I think it's that. Hagakure, also known as father. This is my wife, Isho, my son, Runo, and the rest of our family are weapons. You probably won't meet them yet, but you probably won't meet them because they're on holiday at the moment. But we always keep spare stuff. We always have access to other weapons just in case Kishin, by any chance, find their way inside. All right. What's your name? Wait, no, they know his name. What am I saying? They know his name. All right. I'm gonna say Izuku had good sentry skills. He wasn't the greatest. But he was below average, but he could still sense it. You'll soon find out. Like very soon to find out why. So who's upstairs giving off so much energy? Deku asked. Tenki, he sighed and looked at Isho. She nodded. That's our daughter, Toru. Toru Hagakure. She has a quirk and she has an invisibility quirk and she's a Meister. Izuku tilted his head to show that he was interested. He was curious. But there's something wrong with her, you see. Not only a quirk, but her meistering ability. See, Toru, she can't wield weapons. Well, she can't wield any of the weapons we've tried. Every time we try to give her a weapon, it's like a it pains her to hold it, and it also pains the weapon to hold it, to be held. So we've gone around the world looking for a weapon that could potentially help us, but no luck. Izuku's eyes turned blue to indicate that he felt bad. He felt sad at the moment. And as if that wasn't bad enough, her quirk, it's a mutation, and it can't be switched off. You see, I think it's called light reflection. Hold on, let me go check this out. All right. I don't know. I'm just gonna call it light refraction because refraction, I'm pretty sure, um means that she can like move the move. It's too complicated for me to. Oh, hiccup. For me to explain. Sorry about that. Oh goodness. Wow. Okay. Geez, I'm almost running out of space. Got 5 minutes to record the rest of this. I'm probably gonna split this into two parts. All right. So yeah. So also on top of her having the light refraction quirk, we made her invisible all the time. She lets out ginormous amounts of energy, and this soon becomes so unstable that eventually she'll just die. Izuku, he felt a bit troubled. Even though he didn't know the Hagakures, he felt sorry for the family. Tenki's eyes lit up, and he smiled. Well, sorry to upset you like that, but I'll show you around, show you your room, and you can settle in. After, you don't have to, but we'd appreciate if you could go see Toru. Maybe she'll cheer up. It's been a while since we've seen. It's been a while since we've heard her happy. Ow, my heart! What the hell? Oh gosh, my heart is hurting reading this out. Anyway, yeah. So Izuku got shown to his room, and it was big. Just know it was big, okay? It was big. Even he was surprised that he was treated so good, even though he was a weapon. So he was happy. All right, we're gonna go to about 10:30 p.m. Izuku just finished his shower, and he'd come from doing training and workouts, and obviously he didn't want to go into a room with a dying girl smelling of BO, because like if you do that you're messed up in the head and you need to go see someone. So he wanted to see Toru. Actually, and I'm not gonna say that because oof, probably shouldn't have said that. Oh, okay. He wanted to see Toru before bed, so that was his plan. Deku left the room and he walked across the corridor to a pink door. He knocked. Come in! Probably not that enthusiastic. Come in. Yeah, more like that. Toru said. Deku slowly opened the door to see floating clothes, floating blanket. Well, guess I went wrong about how correcting invisibility, Deku thought. You must be the new addition. Hi, I'm Toru Hagakure. I'm sure you already know that. Izuku, he understood why she had lack of enthusiasm. He wouldn't really be happy too he wouldn't be happy too knowing that he was going to die in a few weeks. Did I say how long she has 2 weeks, alright? Forgot to say that. She had 2 weeks until she dies. So yeah. So Izuku introduced himself, and the more they talked, the happier Toru seemed to become. It got to the point where after about a week and 4 days, she started calling Izuku, and Deku countered this with calling Toru Toru-san. Longer, but oh well. And at first, Izuku was a bit reluctant to accept answering Izuku, but after one or two tries, he remembered that she only had. Did I say 4 days or 5 days? 4 days, I'm pretty sure. She only had 3 more days to live, and well, he didn't want to ruin them. Oh gosh, I got 1 minute. I'm gonna have to put this in my computer and edit the rest out. Okay. So yeah, they became good friends over the 1 week and 4 days, and Izuku, well, he started to take a little interest in her, and so did Toru. But it was quickly brushed off for both of them, as they knew they wouldn't be suing each other. So yeah, I'm gonna skip to the next day. So Deku woke up at around 6 a.m. and he heard shuffling coming from downstairs. And when he walked downstairs, he was surprised to see invisible clothes. I meant floating clothes. Oh, jeez, I'm gonna have to end it here. Okay, this is part two of part two. This is part two of chapter two. Alright, so let's continue. So, yeah. So Izuku was thinking who could be awake at this hour, because he's not really come across anyone who normally up before him. So when he arrived, he saw invisible clothes and oh my goodness, what are you even saying invisible clothes? Floating clothes and moving, floating, moving dumbbells. That's odd. Oh, Izukun, it's you. Izuku immediately knew who it was. And when he found out, he then looked at the clothes. It was a sports bra and some leggings. He blushed. He didn't know why, as he can't even see her, but he blushed anyway. Toru saw Izuku blushing and she stood up and, well, you couldn't see it, but she looked away. This only made Izuku blush more. If you know why, then you know why. If you don't, then I'm gonna explain to you. Izuku was point blank staring at her ass. Okay? He was staring at her ass. He's maybe 16. That's not a good excuse. He's 16, okay? He was staring at Tori's ass. I just don't think she did it. She didn't do this on purpose, but anyway, it made Izuku blush even more, okay? So onwards, Izuku Izuku stuttered, but he got out getting the sentence out. Oh gosh, he hiccups. Oh, you're an early bird like me, huh? Tor, well, she replied with a yes, and well, Izuku suggested they, well, work out together, and Toru agreed. So Izuku started out by stretching. Toru didn't do this because she had already stretched, and Izuku, he was kind of upset that she didn't stretch with him. Yeah, he wasn't he wasn't he wasn't visibly upset, but he was mentally upset that he didn't get to see Tori stretching. So yeah, so and then he did his morning schedule, which is a 1K run, a 1 mile, 1 mile, screw 1 mile, 5 mile run, 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups, 75 kg of dumbbells for 5 minutes, and big man 600 kg deadlift. I'm not gonna make him that actually 600 kgs of deadlifting. Is that a lot? Is is deadlifting 600 a lot? I don't know. I'm just gonna say 600. If it's too much, then I'll turn it nerf it. But anyway, yes, 600 kg deadlift, and finally 5 liters of water. He needed to finish his 5 liter water bottle, so he ended up drinking like a few drops. Cause I mean, going through all that with just 5 liters of water, that's pain. That's torture right there. So Toru, she ended up watching Izuku throughout the whole workout, and she was blushing because my man, he took off his top after like he took off his top like 2 miles into the run. He was just like, nah, screw this top. So he took off his top, and man, let's just say he'd been doing this exercise for like 12 years. No, he did not start at 4. I'm not doing that. He'd been doing this for 6 years, so he started at 10. So he had a pretty. I'm not gonna give him an 8 pack because I don't want him to look ugly ass. I'm gonna give him a 6. He had a bold 6 pack. Yeah, so she was blushing watching Izuku, and after this 600 kg deadlifting that Izuku did, she thought that he had a super strength quirk, and he also realized that she'd never asked him, so she decided now was the right time. Izukun, do you have a super strength quirk? Izuku shook his head. Nah, pure strength. Toru, well, she didn't say it, but she thought, wow, that's so cool. Izuku felt bad for asking this question, but he felt at the moment that it would be a good time to ask. Why do you work out when you have this going on? Toru frowned. She knew the question would be coming, but she wasn't ready. Well, she wasn't properly ready for it. She sat down. I'm always hoping someone will come and help me. I know it's stupid, but I've had hope for the past 16 year, 16 years, so why stop now? Deku smiled, and his eyes went pink. Yes, they went pink. No, no, silver, silver. Admiration, silver. I'm gonna make it silver. They went silver. He'd never come across someone quite like Toru. I'm gonna say 2 days later. So now we're in the sixth day, 23 hours and 55 minutes in. Yes, yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting near the end of my 7 1/3 of a page script. I'm probably gonna have to wing some of this. I want this to get to about an hour. So right now we're at borderline 40 minutes. 20 more minutes. Yay. Wonder how I'm gonna do that. Anyway, so yeah. So Deku was hold on. Nah, I'm not gonna make this 55. I'm gonna make this 6 days in and 17 hours. So Deku was walking to school, and since he lived somewhere else, Bakugo wasn't there, and the sludge villain thing didn't happen. Gosh, turning my script. So at this time, Izuku considered voice crack. Izuku considered himself somewhat part of the family. They didn't treat him like other families. They actually cared, and he had tried. He had also tried finding a weapon that could potentially help, but nothing came up. Izuku, Tenki, Isho, and Runo were. Wait, no, this don't make sense. Oh, jeez. So yeah, the Izuku goes to school. Normal stuff happen. He doesn't get. He gets bullied. Did I say he gets bullied? Should I say he gets? I'm gonna say he gets bullied. He gets bullied. Toru doesn't go to school because she also gets bullied, and even though she has hope, ain't nobody trying to go through that like a day before they die. So she don't go to school because she would get bullied, and Deku also gets bullied because let's just say word got out that Hagekure's adopted him. So yeah. So Izuku, Tenki, Isho, and Runo were waiting by Toru's bed. They could feel Izuku especially could feel the energy rising. It was unstable enough, but it was getting a little too much. She has 2 minutes left, Izuku pointed out. Everyone looked at him with a "you're not helping, shut the fuck up" eye. And Izuku, he took that and he stayed quiet. he stayed quiet, you know. He didn't he if you say wow, okay. So yeah, so Tenki he stood up and he kissed his daughter for the last time. and so did everyone else, except for Zuko, because that would kind of be weird. I mean, now that would kind of they're good friends. Yeah, they're good. They're good friends. They're close friends. They're not bro. I'm not gonna say they're brother and sister because that wouldn't work for their ship. So they ain't brother and sister. Yeah. So they they're good friends, close friends. Like yeah, very close friends. So he didn't kiss her, but he went near her and said a few words. So you know, at this point, Tenki was counting down, and well, there was 30 seconds left. The last request Toru asked of Deku was if he could try and transform. Izuku, well, like I said, he never transformed before. He knew he was a weapon, but he'd never done it before. And luckily for him, Nyogi came through and told him the trigger word. Yeah, he told him the trigger word. Henkan. So Izuku then went to Toru and he told her to say Henkan. And with the 10 seconds marker left, she took her last breath and said Henkan. Izuku felt a rising power within him. His eyes went fully gold and his hair started to twist. His hair started to like fold into a blade. And then he felt like he was being pulled, twisted, curved, you name it. What transforming into a weapon feels like. Yeah, so he felt the immeasurable power and strength rise within him. The whole family stared at Izuku as he went through this transformation, and what was left of him after the transformation was a golden katana. It had writing in it. No one understood what it said. Not even Deku knew. But it had writing on it. However, even with this transformation, they all had lost hope when they found out that Toru was dead. They'd seen the flatline and, well, everyone cried. Izuku's I must say that since his eyes change, I'm gonna say that the color of his blade can change. The color of the edge of the blade, like the sharp bit of the blade, can change. So I'm gonna make the sharp bit of the blade. I'm gonna make it because he's sad at the moment. I'm gonna make it blue. So it's like a metallic. The sword is actually gold, but the sharp bit of the blade is blue, metallic blue. So yeah, some of them started crying. The Tenki and Runa were in the corner trying not to cry, but you could see the tears dropping from their face. And then Izuku, since he was laid against Toru's chest, no, not like that. Remember, gonna get that soon, but not like that. So yeah, he felt Toru's heart begin to beat. And soon after, the heart monitoring system picked up on it, and it started spiking. She's alive! Tenki, Tenki shouted, and everyone looked up and started crying and cheering. But these weren't tears of sadness. No, these were tears of joy. Toru slowly opened her eyes, and I I actually don't know what color eyes I'm gonna give her. I'm gonna put a picture up of what she looked like because her quirk deactivated and the energy was constantly being expelled. That's how she's alive at the moment. So yeah, I'm gonna put a picture of what she looks like right now. So yeah, she opened her eyes and slowly opened her eyes, and shine, the shine of the, the shine of the shine of the color of of her eyes, I think that makes sense, started to return. Mom, Dad, everyone, I thought I died. Yusho ran and she hugged her daughter. Oh, we did too. Terrible voice acting, am I right? Toru just noticed, after being squished almost to death again, she was holding a golden katana with writing in it. What's that? She asked. They all looked at, well, what is now Izuku. That is the. Oh, sorry about that. My parents are back, which means I'm almost done. So, yeah, that that is Izuku. He saved you. Toru looked at looked at Golden Katana. You saved me, Izuku. Thank you. Izuku's sharp bit of the blade went pink, and Toru then, she closed her eyes and she rested. Everyone in the family, they were thanking Izuku, and they were they were very grateful for Izuku. I'm gonna skip to it. I'm gonna skip 1 week. So Toru and Izuku had already started training together. They'd become a lot closer now, and they'd only been training physically. Today was the day they started to train practically. I'm gonna leave it there. Oh, that was what, 7 1/3 pages of writing that was not necessary. I hope you guys liked the video. I'm gonna go to bed now. Good night. Bye.